welcome to another episode of Bariatric Banter Podcast.
Here we go.
28.
My goodness.
I know. Still here, still doing it, still loving it. And the shorter format is working so much better for us,
it's
which
perfect.
is great.
It's perfect.
Today, we're going to have our phones with us because we're doing a really, I think, fun, but also probably spicy episode.
Mhm.
But I'm pumped about, I'm pumped about this one.
It's
But
gonna get good.
we're going to do what TikTok gets right and more importantly, gets wrong about bariatric life. So
Yeah.
it's kind of going to be like a reaction style discussion on viral weight loss trends and topics on TikTok. But I think with the rise of social media in general, it's kind of important to talk about these
For
things.
sure. And especially with, as we've said so many times, the lack of resources out there. So many people are turning to social media to do their research
Yeah.
before the surgery. I certainly did. Thank goodness I had Hannah to like reel me in. But social media is a huge resource that people use when they're looking at all sorts of things health and wellness related, right? And it's
Exactly.
funny because I was actually listening to a podcast today for part of my drive to Hannah's about, it was with the one trainer from the body program I'm doing right now, two trainers, but the guy that's doing this program. And he was talking about, you have to be really careful when you're looking on social media for health and wellness information, because between AI and the fact that people can say whatever the hell they want, you have to take what you see there with a grain of salt, and you have to double check things and not just rely on one source or one person for your information. And it's very easy on things like TikTok to get pulled down that rabbit hole. So
Exactly.
you need to be careful. That being said, there is some great stuff out there. So we just want to bring a little bit of awareness to what that looks like and what we've seen.
Exactly. And like it's not all bad. So
No.
there is some that most certainly is
Oh,
bad.
stay
And
away.
I'm gonna need to fake TikTok to go look at some of these creators. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just and we are no experts. We are not the moral authority or the ethical authority
Right.
or, TikTok's queens over here. But I just think in our early days and in our journey, it's important for us to highlight maybe what we did not find beneficial and helpful
Yep.
and what actually ended up being detrimental, but also who's been absolutely amazing, who's been somebody that we love following, that we'll continue to follow, and just also some things to like always keep in mind when you're looking at social media.
Yes.
Things that I think, to me, maybe I think of them as common sense, but I realize I work in tech and social. I'm in this field all the time, and it's not always common sense. So,
Yep.
Things like how to actually look at TikToks and stuff on social and realize it's usually a tiny percentage of their entire life.
Yep.
You're filling in the gaps and you're not always filling them in accurately. So just remember what you're seeing is usually not accurate. Even from the best intentioned people, it is curated for social for a reason.
Right. The majority of people are putting their best self on social media, the portions of their day, the best parts of their day. A lot of people, and there are some who do, but a lot of people are not sharing the nitty gritty, the downfalls, the negatives, the darker side, we'll say. So that's really important. Is it's not all roses and rainbows and sunshine. There are challenges and there are hard days and there are things that you will
Correct.
need to overcome. So I think that's a big one. Is yes, we've talked about the surgery itself being easier than we anticipated in terms of the physical element of it, the surgery itself, but it's not all easy. And like I said, sunshine and rainbows. So a lot of times you only see the good stuff, and that's great. We want people to see the positives and see the
Yes,
good
because there's
things.
so much
Yeah,
goodness
but
here.
keep in mind that there's a lot of things that these people are going through that you're not seeing, or things that they're eating that you're not seeing. So
Uh-huh.
I think that's a
Or
big one for me.
interesting
Ugh,
things that they're lying about.
oh my
So,
gosh. Yeah.
you
Like
know,
when you see them eating a bunch of junk and then they say, I went to my doctor's office and I told my doctor what I'm eating and they said it was fine.
I know who you're
I
talking
have
about.
to call total bullshit, because I can guarantee you that if you
Oh,
went to your
shit.
doctor's office and told them that you were eating seafood boils and Dunkin' Donuts and
Mozzarella
Doritos at lunch
sticks.
and like mozzarella sticks and going out to Chili's all the time for your triple
Mhm.
decker whatever, I can guarantee
Mhm.
you that your doctor would say, hey, maybe you need to rein that in a little bit. That's
Yeah,
probably not okay.
they're not here to shame you, but at some point they need to be like, that's not okay. And if
Yeah.
you're excluding telling them things, you know it's not okay.
100%. And
You know.
did we see the video of their doctor's appointment? No.
Nope,
We just saw
conveniently,
the
they
video of
didn't.
them afterwards at home being like, "Oh,
"Oh,
yeah,
it
I
was
told him
fine. Oh, yeah." And
everything."
it's like, "No,
No,
you
you
didn't.
didn't.
You did not," because no doctor in the right mind would be like, "This is totally okay." And I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep.
Um, and I think that's where, and you've heard us say, like, we're not trying to be preachy or on a high horse here because we do things that lots of bariatric people would be like, "What the hell?" Like, people are super
Oh
against
gosh, yeah.
ketchup. People are against straws. People would be, yeah,
Carbonation.
people would be angry about not doing enough weightlifting and doing too much cardio. Like, I get it. There are
Yeah.
definitely things that, and whatever, we're on social, we've opened ourselves up for that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, we are not allowed to be criticized or have people have
No.
opinions about us.
That's
Yes,
the
they
price you
are.
pay when you put your story of
I
yourself out there.
don't condone hate. You don't go and actively tear people down,
No.
but it is okay to ask questions. um the
Yep.
problem I have with some of those people too is like they'll say things like, well, I know a friend of a friend who doesn't take any of their vitamins and they're totally fine, so I'm not going to take my vitamins. And it's like,
Yeah.
this is terrible. Don't put that out on the internet because people will hear things on the internet and go,
Oh
well, I heard
gosh.
this influencer say she doesn't take them and she knows two people who don't take them. So, in the rule of social, that means that everybody in the world isn't taking them and I'm totally fine to do that too.
Right.
And it's like there was an
Mm-mm.
influencer, Big Chris or something, I can't
I
remember her
can't.
name, but
Yeah.
she passed away recently, which is horrific. And it was because she wasn't eating properly and wasn't taking her vitamins. And I'm not trying to scare anybody by saying that, but that was literally the cause. She documented it from the
Yep.
hospital that she was on a feeding tube and her organs were failing and that she took full responsibility, that she should have listened and she wasn't paying enough attention and she should have done what she was
Mhm.
told to do. Unfortunately,
She didn't.
she didn't survive,
Yeah.
which is horrific. But
Yep.
that's why, like, I don't care if so and so's friend of a cousin of a relative did it and they're fine. That's not your body
Yeah.
and that's not your life. So, like, please listen to your team.
Yep.
Social's a great place to help with like meal prepping or questions like,
Yes. Inspiration.
should I have surgery for my loose skin? Should, like, hey, did you have this happen? Did you ever have the phantom pain in your incision? How are you hitting your calorie count? Like, that's great. Where you shouldn't be listening on social is when they tell you not to eat something,
Oh
not to
gosh.
take your vitamins, not to follow through with things. It's like,
Or it's okay to have McDonald's
uh-huh.
2 weeks after
Oh, it
surgery.
is like, listen, is McDonald's okay? Sure. I've had a kids meal. I literally cannot
I've had
lie.
nuggets.
I've had it, but like 2 weeks after surgery, no. And like
No.
we've seen that too, right? Where every now and then we go down a rabbit hole that just kind of depresses us a little. Like we're not even really mad at these people or judging them. We feel bad for them because
Yeah.
they're clearly struggling. And I wish that they had a bigger support system. Like I wish that they talked more to their doctors
Yep.
or they talked more to other people because someone needs to tell them that, like, 3 months post gastric bypass, you shouldn't be eating McDonald's. And that's a
No.
full size burger, by the way, double patty
I was gonna
burger.
say that's a McDouble right there.
Yeah, and just because you can doesn't mean you should.
And the
Um,
fact that people rely on this as valid and accurate information. That's what
well,
gets me, right?
that's
Is
what
that
drives me
you are,
nuts.
whether you want to admit it or whether that's why you're doing it or not, you are influencing people. There are people out there who are relying on your content to give them information and teach them. Should they do more research than just that? Yes. Is the onus on them too? Yes. But you are out there and you are basically saying, hey guys, this is what I'm doing and it's fine. And other people are seeing that and saying, oh, well, if she's doing it, then I can do it. And that is where I have issue is that a lot of these people aren't putting, we'll say like almost like disclaimers out there. They're not saying, hey guys,
Yeah,
just because I'm choosing to do this doesn't mean you should. And they're trying to say that this is part of their program or that this has been okayed by
it
their
has not
program. And
been.
I can guarantee you that is all a lie.
Yeah,
And so that's what concerns me is you're getting all of these people out there who are doing these things and they're choosing to make bad decisions
yep,
and that's on them.
that is on them.
But when other people, you see the comments coming in of, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not alone. And I feel so validated because you're doing this. And that's the scary part.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that, well, first of all, like the amount of people in the comments being like, it's so great to see a real person and this is so amazing and thank you. I think what I want to stress is that's not a, what you're looking for is an excuse to go back to your old eating
Yeah.
habits. Like you are looking for somebody to give you the right to just eat whatever you want to eat. And the thing is, That's not what you should be looking for.
Yeah.
So I get really annoyed when I see these people that are clearly either not in the surgery program at all or in it and very early days. And in the nicest way possible, I can tell that you're struggling to lose weight. And you're in there being like, thank you for being so real. I can't wait to have a Big Mac and I can't wait to eat like this. And like, you're actually telling what real life is like. Like, this is how we're going to eat and it's totally fine and we're still going to lose weight. And it's like, it's not though.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of surgery is not that, oh, but you can eat that stuff. It's that you shouldn't want to eat that anymore because that's what led you where you are today. Like fast food occasionally, and I mean like once or twice a year, great. You should not be eating fast food after surgery every single day. It
No.
should not be in your diet every day. The whole point of this was that you have to give up that crutch and that relationship. Fast food is never going to be good for you.
No.
You can fit it into a diet every now and then, but like you can get a breakfast burrito at McDonald's, the little tiny snack wrap one that's 290 calories. Or you could literally make scrambled eggs and a tortilla and some sausage at home for like 200 calories and
Mhm.
5 times as much protein. You have to make better choices. But it's really infuriating when I see the comments being like, "Oh, fuck the haters. Like this is so real and we love that they're showing real life." And it's like, "No, you love that they're showing you that you don't have to change your life
Yep.
at all and that you're going to be allowed to eat whatever you want to eat." You aren't praising the people who are making homemade food, cutting, the fatty stuff out,
Yep.
working on like incorporating real whole foods. Like the other thing that's crazy is when people are like, why would you have surgery to go back to eating like
Well,
this?
that's
Like,
just
why
it,
aren't you
right?
making changes? And the response is, I am making changes. I would have eaten this whole burrito
Well,
before
now I only have
surgery.
three
Now I
quarters.
only have half.
Yeah.
I would have eaten the whole thing of Tex Mex fries from Taco Bell, but now I only have half. And it's like, girl,
No.
girl, that's not
These
success.
these are the people who we've talked about it where they do think this is a magic pill and they do think that, well, all I have to do is have surgery. I can still eat the same crap I ate and I'm going to lose weight. And we've talked about this that in the beginning you will lose weight because even the people who are still eating the junk and are eating less, that they're still eating less than they were before. So they are going to lose weight. However, is it going to be sustainable? No. Are they going to lose as much? No. Are they
No.
being healthy? No. Are they getting their nutrients in? No. Are they going to be able to sustain weight loss long term? No. So yeah, they're losing weight. So they're thinking, sweet, I can still eat all this crap and I'm still losing weight. Well, yeah, that first year, as the surgeon says, that is a gift from them to you because you could do dick all and lose weight because you physically can't eat as much. But that's not the point of this surgery. That is not going to set you up for success long term. And that's why we see so much regain. And that's why the statistics are so high. And we've talked about it. It's not the easy way out. It's not the
No.
magic pill, but you do get these people that think, well, okay, I'm just going to go have surgery. I can keep living my same life I want to eat and it's going to solve everything. It's not because your restriction will go away. You will have more capacity to eat. You're not doing anything about your mindset. And
Yes.
that's where so much of this comes into play. And so, again, you're having these people who are seeing the videos thinking, well, shit,
Yeah.
I could have this surgery and still do all these things. Sign me up. Well, that's sadly not how it works. And you're not getting the full picture. You're not getting the realistic view of what this is gonna look like for you 1 year down the road, 2 years down
Yeah,
the
you're
road.
not thinking about like, and that's what people are trying to say in these comments, but my God, they come for people in the
Oh,
comments. Like
heaven
they're
forbid you suggest they cut back
you on the
on there.
processed
Or even
food.
I've seen comments where people have made suggestions of other options at that fast food location, so
Yeah,
you can tell, like, they're still trying to be nice about it, and I did see somebody was eating, like, the McDouble or whatever,
yeah.
and somebody in the comments said, "Why don't you try, the nuggets because they're less
Or the
calories."
junior
Yeah, and
burger.
people came at them like,
Oh
"She
my
can get
God.
whatever she wants. How dare
Yeah,
you
but
tell her
she's
what to
still hitting
order?"
all her goals and
Yeah.
she's still losing weight and it shows what you know. Or the
I'm
people
like,
who are
"She's
like,
just trying
it's
to be
just
helpful."
calories in and calories out. Yep, I get that. But it's also fat in and it's
Right.
sodium in and it's cholesterol in. Like
Yeah.
like the labs are going to be
Chemicals and
atrocious. But also the point of surgery is not just that you can eat what you want and still lose weight. What nobody seems to remember is the weight gain after the 12
after.
month mark is critical. Like we're not talking 5 or 10%. It's
No.
over 35% of people will regain more than they
Yeah,
lost, like
you'll be
more than they
heavier than when you
initially.
started.
And it's because of this. And also, you should not be bragging 3 months post op that you're eating 1,500 calories and like able to eat all that. Like it,
Mm-mm.
people seem to think that you're going to have this surgery and magically wake up and your body will reject anything that you're not supposed to have. That's
Wouldn't
not
that
how
be
it works.
nice?
Wouldn't that be amazing? That's not how it works. Like
Mm-mm.
you're supposed to spend the first year, which they call the magic year for a reason, trying to rewire your brain to get off of high fat,
Yeah,
high
build
sodium,
new
high sugar,
habits.
make more at home, really pay attention to what goes into your body and try to make better choices that isn't I'm going to eat out junk every day. And then they try to come on TikTok and act like, well, today I had fruit and blah, blah, like, oh God, they'll come on and have like a good day of eating, right?
Yeah.
In between the week of nonstop fast food all the time. And people in the comments will be like, I see that the haters have nothing to say about like when you're eating good food and, doing the right thing. And it's like, cause that's once a month that
Right.
there's a video about that.
Right.
Like,
And I also find that there's a lot lately about like competition mindset of how much people can eat post
oh
surgery.
God.
So
All
like,
right,
yeah,
here
like
we
I'm
go.
3 weeks post op and I can eat a junior cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 3 weeks post op and I can eat a 6-piece nugget set. Like, first of all, again, don't eat the shit.
Don't eat
Also,
shit.
you're still supposed to be on like purees. So
Yep.
let's tone that back
Oh,
a
but
little
I
bit.
don't follow the rules.
Right. But my body can handle it.
I
That's
don't
what they'll
I'm
say.
not I'm not good at rule following.
But this whole like, I can eat this much, I can eat this much. It's not a freaking
It is
contest,
not.
people. It drives me bananas.
Drives me batshit.
There's days, and like, there was not yesterday, the day before, I think it was, when like I barely ate all day. Not because I didn't want to, because I physically couldn't. It was
Correct.
high restriction. It just happens. There's certain days where your stomach just says, hell no,
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't want
Me
anything
today.
in here. Leave me alone.
Yep.
And you have 3 bites of something and you feel like you've eaten 3 pounds of something.
Oh yeah.
And then the next day, all your stomach is saying is, give me more, give me more, give me more, bring it on, let's go. And it just happens. And so there are some days where you can eat a shit ton. There's some days where you can eat nothing. And it varies. And everybody's different at different points. Like there's guidelines, right? That, okay, at this point, you should be eating a quarter cup. At this point, you should be eating this many ounces. But there's no set rules of you have to be at this point by this time. And it doesn't make you better if you can eat more than the person who's at the same point as you. It's not a contest, it's not a race. Stop trying to brag and show how much you can eat because again, you're going to get people who can't reach that and they're going to think, "Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind or I'm not where I need to be." They're going to push themselves to try and match you and they're going to do
Yep.
damage to themselves
Yes, they are.
physically
Yep.
and mentally.
Yep.
This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. And there's so many people out there. And I don't know. I'm wondering, like a lot of the content we see around surgery on TikTok is American. And so we've
Yep.
talked about how their programs are vastly different than
Very
Canada.
different. Very
And
different.
so I don't know if part of this is because they don't have the same
Mm.
education in their program that we get. They don't have the same resources. I don't know what it is. I would think that plays a part in
It
it.
has to, right?
I
Like
would
we've
think
said we've
so.
said this to each other before. Like this has to be part of the reason. And we're not trying to shit on Americans here in
No,
any way,
their
but like
programs are just different.
they're just but like even then, there was that one influencer who secretly recorded her doctor's appointment, and he seemed pretty like on the ball with like, you need to do this, you need to
You'd
do
think,
that. Like,
right.
I think a lot of people are lying to their doctors about things, but
Yeah.
okay, here's a great, I don't know. Like, see, I go back and forth on like, I think it's the education system for sure, but then I can't think of her name, but the girl, she drinks drag up coffee a lot. She's so awesome. And remember, she gained a couple of pounds.
Profi Queen?
Profi Queen. Frig,
Profi
love
Queen.
Profi
She's
Queen. So
awesome.
she's an American, and it sounds like she's got really good resources and help. But
She
like,
has long-term follow-up appointments that we don't have.
oh, we don't even have those. So like,
Yeah.
I think it depends on what state you're in too. But the other thing I remember, and like again, I'm really not trying to offend anyone. So my mom was a nurse in the States for 30 plus years. Crossed border. We lived in Canada. We didn't live in the States. And one thing she said was, because I remember she would say it often, oh my God, they eat out for everything. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything is eaten out. They rarely cook at home.
Convenience, yeah.
And I know that's not all of them at all. I'm painting with a very broad brush here, but it was very big in the culture that your breakfast, lunch, and dinner was all fast food. So I think that's also a big thing is that it's really hard for because a lot of American TikTokers that we don't agree with that have had surgery are eating takeout a month
Even
post
a
op.
lot of bariatric TikTokers in general, a lot of their what I
Takeout.
eat in a day,
Takeout,
there's
takeout,
takeout
takeout.
in it.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
that's like a cultural thing
Yeah.
there, but like at least a lot of them are making better choices, like the kale salad and the grilled nuggets
I
from
was gonna say grilled
Chick-fil-A,
nuggets, yeah.
which like I actually want to try, or getting just the meatballs from Subway,
Subway,
kind of want to try that
me
too.
too.
Like at least they're making better choices. I'm
Yep,
shocked and concerned by the ones that are just eating full
the
on
same thing.
cheeseburgers and burritos and like
Mhm.
like boy. So like if it was once a day I could get over it, but it's like the whole day is eating out. But I think it's an American thing, like, and again, I'm not trying to knock
A
anybody.
cultural
Like
thing.
it's just not a thing here that you would eat out all the time
No.
here. And it was like eating out was like a
We
special
don't
thing that
have
you
as
would
many
do.
restaurants and chains as they do
We
either.
don't have a lot of like fast casual places to eat. And like, do I get a coffee? Sure. Like I had a
Yeah,
Starbucks coffee this morning, but it's a uh espresso over ice with nothing in it that I add a protein coffee
yeah.
to. It is
Have I had
not.
nuggets at McDonald's? Yeah,
Oh,
but
I
I do
have. I
not.
was on a road trip and had no
Yeah,
option.
that's just it, right? It's one
Literally
of
had
those
no
things
option.
where you're out and about, you don't have an option.
Yeah.
So, but that's just it, right? You get
Have the
the
nuggies.
four-piece nugget and you have 3, like, I can't finish a
I ate all
four-piece
four.
nugget.
I can eat all
You're
four.
further than me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's just it, right? So when you aren't we're not saying never eat the fast food and never
No,
go out for
no,
dinner,
no.
but make the better choices, and there's a time and
Sporadically.
place for
Yeah.
everything.
I've deleted
Yeah.
my delivery apps because it became a really big crutch, especially in the
Yeah.
first year. I was like, oh, you know, it'd be great. Like chicken wings, they're high in protein and blah, blah, blah. And I'm, you know, and I was like, you know, what's going to happen? This is going to turn into a really
Spiral.
slippery slope
Yep.
where, and I did, I stopped myself because especially in my second year, I went to place an order and I was like, well, I'm going to have this like chicken bowl. And then you know what? I'm going to get the guacamole with the chips
Yep.
because like that would be really good. And like, I went back into like old obese Hannah ordering habits where
Mm.
I'd have to get a meal, an appetizer, or dessert. And I remember this bag arrived at my house and I went,
What did I
what
do?
the fuck is the matter with you?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, would I eat all of that?
No.
No. But would I eat it over a few days? Maybe. Did I really need any of that? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted guacamole, I could make some guacamole and like portion it out and like,
Yep.
and I didn't order anything overtly terrible, but like restaurants in general are going to be bad. This chicken bowl with just
Yep.
chicken and grilled vegetables was 900 calories because of how it was cooked
Right. The
and the rice
oils,
and the
the
mayo.
yeah.
And so I had kind of a wake up moment where I looked at this bag of food and went, first of all, what are
You
you
haven't
doing?
yeah.
What are you doing? Like this is like, and delivery apps have made it way too easy to fall off the wagon.
Oh
And
gosh,
like
yeah.
you convince yourself, we'll do a whole episode on food noise, but like you convince yourself you need to eat all of that. Like it's
Yeah.
very easy to come into your own head and go, you know what, my blood sugar's really low because
I
I've been
worked
feeling a bit off
I worked out
today.
really hard
So I
today.
think it's okay if I just have like some ice cream or a treat, you know,
Yeah.
and I'll
I
just have it
deserve it.
delivered and it's fine.
Yep.
It catches up with you very quickly.
Yep.
And yeah, I have like a weird sinus thing going on. You can hear it in most of the episodes. We can't really figure it out, but it's led me to be a little dizzy. And I remember the doctor saying, "Oh, let's start watching your blood sugar. Like maybe you're just having blood sugar dips, which like you have PCOS and you know blah blah blah. It's be super normal if that's what this causing this. It's very easy to then have that voice in your head go." Hannah, I think maybe your blood sugar's low and like you should go have
You
a
should eat
donut
more.
or a
Yeah.
cookie or you know what? I think you should keep more sweets in the house because you've been so good having such low sugar maybe it's like too low
Maybe you need
sugar.
more
And I remember
sugar.
telling him in one of our appointments, like, oh, I've put some more sodium back in my diet because like my sodium was kind of like on the lower end. So like I've started adding more in. And he goes, no, it wasn't.
No,
So I don't
stop.
really want you adding more sodium
Yep.
in it. And I was like, yeah, but I thought that was like kind of on the lower end. He was like, it's not, it's
You're
normal.
fine.
Like that's where I want it to be. Like don't go adding it. But it's very easy to convince yourself
Oh,
that you're
we
feeling a
can
bit
make
off or
excuses for everything.
yep. So I delete the ordering apps off my phone. If I'm hungry enough and I want it, I'll get in the car or I'll walk my fat little leggies down somewhere and get it. But
Yep.
like this is my problem with TikTok mainly. There's a lot of other things not food related, but the biggest one is whatever someone else is doing, please remember it's probably a lie or a fraction of their day.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are absolutely lovely and amazing and showing you things, remember we all struggle with body dysmorphia, with
Yep.
being enough, with doing enough, with eating, you know, like no one is actually out here being like, this is my actual day. Because if they did, there would be failure and there'd be missteps and people would come for us and criticize us.
Right.
Because we don't comment on these TikToks, even though we
No.
talk about them here. We're not going to add to the hate and the shit.
And we
I
don't call them out
we don't,
by
but I
name.
do agree with some of the comments that are politely saying, "Why
Try
would you have this
this.
surgery if you're not gonna actually put the
Yeah.
effort in?" But again, like, that's why a lot of people don't show you their day to day, because comments aren't always like that.
No.
Comments are like, "You fat pig," and "How dare you? You
Yep.
fucking suck." And some people just
What a
don't want to
drain on
see
the
that.
system.
But like, they're I have missteps. People would come for
Yeah.
me for my
Oh my
ketchup.
gosh,
People
it
would come for me
happens.
because every now and then I have like, I have the little mini spring rolls from President's Choice. And I'm like, sometimes I want to have two chicken spring rolls. Like,
Right.
get off
Whoop-de-doo.
my dick. But I get that, like, if you choose to be out there though, and putting this out there without the disclaimer of like, don't copy me, my body is not your
Right.
body, I'm just sharing what's working for me,
Yeah.
without actually telling people. But like, the worst ones are almost more arrogant,
Yes.
that are like, well, whatever, it works for me, I can do what I want.
Right.
Like, I remember the one who knows that I talk about her because
Oh my,
she made a post being
I
like,
can't look her stuff
I
up because she's gonna see that I
can't look
look.
her up anymore because
Oh, it drives me nuts. 'Cause
she knows I was referencing her. But like, very, 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 very littly out of surgery. Like, I think maybe a month post-op of
Yeah.
surgery, drinking a full sugar, full size iced coffee from a popular fast food restaurant. I looked it up. It's got over 22 grams of sugar in it, which is a lot.
Yep.
But I just remember saying on one of our episodes, or on one of my TikTok videos, why would you do this when you know you're not supposed to? At least tell people, just so you know you're not supposed to do this, but I chose to anyway.
Right.
But instead, the answer, when people politely said,
Hey, that's a lot of
"How are
sugar.
you allowed to have this?" The response was, "I didn't have this surgery to not enjoy things anymore." And it's like, that's the wrong way to paint this, because
Yeah.
what you should have said was, "I really like these coffees. I wanted to see if I could handle it. I do recommend you don't do this because it's high sugar. Maybe
Right.
next time I should try blah, 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 blah." But it's this mentality of, I'm not going to restrict myself. I'm going to have what I want. And
I'm not changing my
it's
life.
gaslighting, where you're trying to like convince yourself that, like, by somehow giving up a 22-gram sugar iced coffee, you're being, um,
The man has got you.
well, you're being punished, or like, woe is you, or that's diet culture. And the truth is, it's not. Consuming that is actually the bad culture and the bad influence on society. Nobody needs a 22-gram of sugar drink.
And that's the thing. If you are really struggling post surgery to give things up, I get it. It's normal.
It's
It's hard.
hard.
But then you know what? Maybe instead of the venti, get the tall,
Yeah.
right? So we've
Try half
said,
sugar,
yeah,
one
we've
pump.
said too, like we don't want to get in that diet mentality and that diet culture. This is a lifestyle change, and that we still want to live our life. We still want to enjoy things. We still want to have food
Yes.
we love, and that we have even said, when you say you can't have this, our obese brain goes, "Oh, watch me. Yes, I can."
Yes, I
And I will
can.
have 5 servings of it.
Yes, I
So, we're
will.
not saying don't have it, but just make better choices, and that's just it. Say, "You know what, guys? I know this isn't the best choice, but this is what I am
Yep.
doing for myself."
Or, hey guys, what could I do differently? Because I think the sugar's really high in
Yeah,
this, but I
but I
really
really
crave
like it. Do you
this.
have
Yeah,
recommendations?
what
Do
could
you
I do?
have
Like, just
thoughts?
be a bit humble. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not out here bragging about severely breaking the rules. Like,
No.
yes, I use a straw. That's great. But I think what worries me about TikTok is they are overtly trying to convince you that this is fine and that you're the
Yeah.
problem. And the amount of people blowing smoke up their ass that it's totally great to see a real person. Like, that's not
That's not
real after
real.
bariatric surgery, though. Like, that's not going to be great. And yeah, they need to learn and have missteps and figure it out. But I don't know. It's almost in how they handle the misstep. Like, it's how
Yes.
arrogant and rude and annoying they are when somebody
The sense of
says,
entitlement,
"Shouldn't you
like.
not be doing this though?"
Right. And then there's people there's people I saw a person who, again, like, yeah, not following the rules, eating junk,
Sure.
eating stuff they shouldn't be, and then I'm gonna get called out for this, I already know. But, I'm not saying their name, so whatever. Then doing a video on hair loss. And don't get me wrong, guys, my hair was falling out in clumps, and I was
Yep.
terrified, and I would cry, and I was worried, and it's horrible to deal with. But this person is like a month or 2 out. They should not be
Oh.
having hair loss yet.
It
And like,
start Yeah, that's
it's supposed to
early.
start around 6-ish months. Mine started at about 5 and a bit. The average is 6-ish,
It can be
5-ish. It can be 3,
3, but
but this was drastic, and they
oof.
were really upset about it, and I get it because it is a part of the surgery that they kinda skip over, and your hair is, for a lot of people, a big part of their
Oh, I
identity, right?
struggled so
And
badly with
I
this.
remember being in the shower and
Cried.
crying.
Yeah, I cried to my mom.
Yeah, and so I totally get where they're coming from, and I I feel their pain, but at that early on, you shouldn't be having that severe hair loss. And maybe
Ooh.
that's an indication to you that, hey, something I'm doing isn't right. And again, in the comments, like, people got reamed for making that thing. And they're just trying to be helpful, right? They're just trying to say, hey, maybe this is an indication and maybe this is showing that something needs to be tweaked here, something's missing, something's not right, and use that as a learning experience and use that to reevaluate what you're
It
doing
Yeah.
versus getting all defensive and getting all uppity about it. And like I said, I totally feel the pain because I had many a cry sessions with my hair. I was so upset about it. But it's things like that where people are trying to be helpful. People are trying to say, hey, maybe this is a little bit of a red flag. And it's heaven forbid you try to help somebody or give them a tip or
Oh,
an
yeah. God
idea.
help you.
And that was 100% coming through in that video. And I just remember thinking, this is a clear indication that something's not right.
No, my hair loss started early in month 3. Now, I will say I have, like, thick ass hair,
Yeah.
so it also was my summer shedding. So that
And
was the other. Yeah,
PCOS.
I have PCOS and summer shedding, but, like,
Yep.
thick hair. Like,
Yeah.
I might as well be Greek how thick my hair is. It lightly started in month 3, but it was month 4 because I just went and checked my Instagram. Month 4, it just
Yeah.
kicked off, and it was alarmingly a lot. Now, the difference between my surgery and your surgery was my multivitamins didn't start till month 6
Yep.
because for some reason back when I had surgery, multivitamins didn't start till the 6-month mark. So
Yeah.
there was a reason I entered it early.
Right.
We know that's not the case with this influencer.
Mhm.
They should be taking their vitamins and should be trying to aim for like super high protein. And if
Yeah.
the hair loss has started before 3 months, that is quite concerning,
Yeah.
especially if it is an alarming amount.
It was
Um,
extremely noticeable on the
yeah.
video.
Which,
Yeah.
like, again, if you have thinning hair and, like, I get it, I'm sorry. But the other thing is, like, people have a if you wanna put your stuff on social, people have a right to question it,
Yep.
and you don't have to be a dick about it when responding. If you
Right.
don't want people to question things, get off social media.
If you're
I
not
can't
prepared for the
stand that.
Yeah, if you're not prepared for the comments, the criticism, the questioning,
Yeah.
everything that comes with it, then don't put
And
yourself
Steph's
out there.
right. Nobody was in there being like, "Ha ha ha, you deserve it," or "You're a horrible
No, people
person."
are generally saying, "Hey,
Do
I
you
think
think
maybe this
maybe
is a sign that."
this could have caused it? And, like,
Yeah,
why not just be humble enough to say, "I really don't think it is,"
but
or "I
thanks for the
spoke to
concern.
my doctor doesn't think it is, but I don't know, maybe I should look into it." Like,
Yeah,
the other thing was, like, there was somebody, and I don't know who, but somebody came in and left a comment on something, and this person snapped back quite shittily, and this person
shittily.
responded and said, "Well, I've just been post-op for 23 years, but what the fuck do I know?" And I was like, "Yeah, see, here's the other thing.
Simmer down.
Start listening to people who've had success with bariatric surgery." I'm going to be nice. And, like, I'm sorry because I know that this alienates Steph here slightly. If you haven't been post op for a year,
Yep.
you shouldn't be following that person for advice on
No,
how successful this will be.
no.
If you follow Steph, it should be because, like, oh, I want to know what she did in the early days, like what she bought or what, blah,
Right,
blah,
and I
blah, blah,
can
blah.
tell you what's working for me right now, and you
Correct.
can take note of that, and you can
Correct.
use that as
But, like,
research, but don't take what I say as gospel.
the people I followed, there like 1 or 2 of them were baby bariatrics, to be
Mhm.
honest, and it was more just like what did they buy and, few
Right,
light
right.
ideas.
Yep.
But most of the people I followed were 2 to 10 years post-op
Yes.
because I needed to see that they succeeded.
Yeah.
And so this is another large problem with TikTok I have. There's nothing wrong with watching the baby bariatrics. Like,
No.
it's awesome. We're technically baby
Yep.
bariatrics. It's kind of cool to watch them go through their journey and see where they end up. However, the amount of people scooping this shit up like gospel and
Mhm.
acting like this is exactly how it's supposed to be, and thank God, because this is exactly what I'm doing too. And it's
Yep.
like, hey, you know who you should go follow instead? Someone who's seen success with it. Because the
Yes.
amount of regain from this surgery, I wish that I could paint this on a billboard and share it on these accounts or that there was a warning. It's
Ridiculous.
huge. So until these people have crossed the 2-year mark and haven't regained anything,
Yep.
and, like, regaining 5 to 10 pounds is not what I mean by regain,
No.
because
That's
there's
bloated
there's
for me.
tons of popular influencers that are 5, 6, 7 years out who've regained. Profi Queen has been very open about gaining 10
Mhm.
pounds and then working to lose it. However, you need to follow people that have had long-term success with this because
Yep.
they will tell you about like, these people will not know anything about regain yet, or the
No.
struggles of, like, gaining weight, or that their eating choices have caught up with them. So just
Yep.
be very careful, because if you start following them now, you don't know if they're going to be successful or not, and you might be
Exactly.
throwing yourself
And
way off
and there's gonna
course.
be things that change. Like, even through the 8 months that I've been doing this and on this journey, things have changed. Things that worked for me at one point don't work anymore. Things that didn't work now. I've changed my maybe attitude or thoughts on certain things. So you have to follow somebody, either follow them through a good length of their journey to see that, or like Hannah said, go to somebody who has been through the ups and downs, they've been through the
Yes.
challenges, and they have proven
A
what works and what
mentor.
doesn't. And so, yeah, like I don't take what I say as gospel,
Me
but
either.
take it as, hey, this is what worked for Steph. I'm going to take note of that. Or this is what, Steph and Hannah recommend. I'm
Yep.
going to keep a mental note of
I'm
that.
going to try it,
And
see
it
if it works for
might
me.
not work for
It
you, and
might
it might
not.
not be the right thing for you. It might not be what your program says.
No.
But that's why it's important to do lots of research and look at
Yes.
lots of people and
And like
double check what you're seeing.
Steph is close enough to the 1 year mark that she can say, here's what I've done over the last 8 months to lead me to X amount of weight loss.
Yep.
I don't really know what you're learning from someone 3 months post op. I like, and I'm not trying to say don't watch them, but I'm just trying to say, like,
But
what are you
you're in the
learning from
infancy of
them?
this journey.
Yeah. And like
They're still learning everything.
there's some foolproofness to the first couple of months of this
Yes.
surgery. And it's
Yes.
been like I've said it before too, when I documented early on, there were definitely things and choices I made that were really not great, but it was foolproof in the first year. So
Yeah.
go nuts and have fun. But like just be cautious because we're just seeing such a rise in this. I don't follow the rules. I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
And it's because bariatric surgery is way more prevalent right now, which like I
It's
totally get. It's
spiked.
hugely on the rise.
Yeah.
However, I think you will also start to see the rise of people saying it didn't, and like go on Reddit. It
It
didn't
didn't work.
work. It didn't work. It failed. It didn't work. It's not what everyone said it would be. And then unanimously on Reddit, the response is always, well, I need you to tell me what you've been eating. What
Yeah.
does your day actually look
Because
like?
I hate to say it, but I think
I
you
bet you
failed.
it's you. And like a lot of the times it is, well, I got sick and I had mental health issues or somebody died or I
Which,
lost my
okay.
job. Like,
Yeah.
and life happens. Like I'm telling you,
Just be honest about
life
it.
happens. When I got super sick, it derailed everything in my life.
Yeah. But just be honest about it.
Yeah, and be like, I got to figure it out. And here we go. Like, I don't know. I think TikTok is great. I think there's a lot of great resources, and boy, we follow some incredible, amazing people,
Mm-hmm.
amazing women on there. Bypass Cass, Profi Queen,
Kaylin
Kaylin
Armstrong. Love
Armstrong.
her.
I even love like Flushed Away. Like Laura does a great job. And like some of them are getting better. There is a big influencer in this space who, a few people started to kind of realize something wasn't going right with the videos. Like it looks like you're not eating and you're
Mm-hmm.
avoiding food. And like sure enough, they came out and said, I've regained and
I've
I'm
fallen
going
off.
through some stuff. And so that's the other thing to watch too, is I know we promote watching the biggies, the ones that have been around for a while, but they lie too sometimes.
And they
And
struggle too.
they struggle, and like you have to be critical of it because we would see videos and go, this is not a healthy video to put out, where basically all they did was drink until 2 p.m and then have a few bites
Protein
of
bar.
something. And it was like, this is not healthy and they should
No.
not be sharing this without a warning that says this was a high restriction day or I wasn't feeling good today. Like, but don't put that out and say that this is a
This is
typical
normal.
day of eating, because it's not.
No.
And so that's the other thing, right? The ones that don't tell you they're on GLP-1s and try to pretend that this is
Which
just
again
what a
is
normal
fine.
eating day
But
looks
be
like.
honest.
Yes, because people like me will watch this and send messages to Steph
Holy
saying,
shit, I'm eating too much.
I'm eating way too much food. If this is how little they're eating 5 years post op, I'm eating too much and I'm going to gain my weight back. So that's just something to keep in mind too, that yes, we do recommend the more long-term successful ones, but watch everything with a grain of salt. Are they eating too little and does that put up a red flag? Because eventually that influencer did come out and admit
Yeah.
that they were eating less because they gained weight and then they went on a GLP-1 to fix it. Are they on Ozempic and maybe not telling you about it? Then their portion sizes will look different than yours
Yeah.
because you're not on it. Just be critical of it, but
Talk to your doctor and
yeah,
do what your program tells you. At the end of the
do
day,
what your program
get
tells you.
inspiration from TikTok, get ideas, see what works for people, maybe spark some things you never thought of, tips and
Yep.
tricks, all of that kind of
But
thing. But at the end of the day, your program is there for a reason.
do
Your
not.
guidelines are there for
Yes.
a reason. Please follow them.
Yeah.
As we've said before, it's not, yeah, some of it sucks and it's not there to make your life horrible. It's not there to punish you. It's there for a reason. Your body needs to heal. You need to build habits. There is a science and a reasoning behind it. So please just
Yeah.
take what you see with a grain of salt and do what your doctor
Follow
tells
your
you.
doctor, follow your team. The amount of people that I see on TikTok too that say that they're not listening to them or doing what they want, or they saw somebody else do it. So they're like, one of these TikTok people said, well, my friend doesn't take her multivitamins and my cousin doesn't take her multivitamins and they're fine. They're like 2 years post op and they're fine. So I'm not taking mine either. don't have the surgery if you're not going to change your eating habits or you're not going to take the vitamins. Don't do it, because eventually that will catch up with them. They'll have organ failure. They'll be in the hospital. It will be major.
Dehydration, the whole
If
shebang.
you get deficient, it is not easy to come back from
No.
that. Okay. This is not like, oh, I had a cold and it took 2 weeks to get back on track. Vitamin deficiency will just annihilate your body. It is not a joke. So that's why we had this episode. We have to stress some of this might seem funny and train wrecky and like you can't look away and, oh, well, it's not harming anyone, so who cares? There are people using this as their only source of education, and it is dangerous because you are too early in this journey to understand the damage that you're doing to your body.
Yep.
The high cholesterol, the risk of heart attack, the risk of failing, the risk of regain, the damage that you're doing due to deficiencies. It can kill people. It's not a
Yeah.
joke.
Yep. It's real.
So be cautious on social, and hopefully we start to see more of a rise in people on TikTok maybe calling out this bad behavior instead of
Mhm.
blowing it up. And I'd love to see a doctor or a dietitian start to do a series about
Oh, that'd be
here's
good.
why eating like this, although you're still losing weight, is a really bad idea. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll find a dietitian or we'll
That'd be
find
cool.
someone to be a guest and say, are we being too critical of these people?
Yep.
Or is it really that bad to be eating like this after surgery?
Right.
And I would love to find a guest, and if anybody would like to share, and I know it's going to be hard, I'd love to find someone who the surgery did not work for, who unfortunately has regained all their weight, or who regained it and had to have revision. And like,
Yeah.
I would love to talk to someone about how did you get there
Yep.
and how easy is it to actually get there.
Right. Yeah, that'd
But
be a good one too.
we'll keep you guys updated on how it goes. Like always, Steph, thank you for joining me for today's episode. And for everybody that's a great listener, thank you for following along. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.